Ladies and gentlemen, healing is the essential process that unlocks the door to leaving pain behind. It is more than just a physical recovery. It's a deep, transformative journey that touches every aspect of our being, emotional, mental, and spiritual. When we experience pain, whether from loss, betrayal, heartbreak, or trauma, it often leaves wounds that aren't visible but are profoundly felt. Healing helps us acknowledge those wounds, understand them, and gently guide ourselves toward wholeness again. At its core, healing is about restoring balance within ourselves. Pain disrupts our inner harmony, making us feel fragmented and vulnerable. Healing works to bring back that equilibrium by allowing us to confront our pain rather than bury it or run away from it. This confrontation is never easy. It requires courage and patience. Healing asks us to be honest with ourselves about what hurts and why, and in doing so, it opens the door for self-compassion. Instead of blaming ourselves or others, healing encourages understanding and kindness toward our own suffering. The process of healing is unique for everyone. There is no timeline, no universal formula. Some find solace in talking through their pain with trusted friends or therapists, while others turn to creative outlets like writing, art, or music to express what words cannot capture. Meditation, mindfulness, and spiritual practices also offer powerful tools for healing by helping us become present with our feelings and release the hold that painful memories can have over us. Healing is not about forgetting or erasing the past. Instead, it's about integrating those experiences into our story in a way that empowers us rather than diminish us. When we heal, we shift from being victims of our circumstances to becoming survivors and thrivers. This shift is what ultimately allows us to leave pain behind. By reclaiming our power through healing, we build resilience that prepares us to face future challenges with strength and grace. An important aspect of healing is forgiveness, both of ourselves and others. Holding on to resentment and anger keeps us tethered to the pain. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning hurtful actions or pretending pain didn't happen. Rather, it means releasing the emotional grip those experiences have on us, freeing our hearts and minds to move forward. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, a crucial step in the healing journey that opens space for peace. Healing also involves setting boundaries that protect our emotional well-being. Pain can sometimes come from unhealthy relationships or environments that drain our energy. Learning to say no, to prioritize our needs, and to surround ourselves with positivity fosters a safe space for healing. The boundaries create the conditions necessary for our emotional wounds to mend without being reopened. Lastly, healing is an ongoing journey, not a destination. Life will always present moments of difficulty and pain, but with a foundation of healing, we are better equipped to handle these moments without being overwhelmed. Each time we nurture our healing, we strengthen our capacity to leave pain behind and embrace a life filled with hope, joy, and fulfillment. In summary, healing is the key to leaving pain behind because it allows us to face, understand, and transform our suffering into growth and strength. It teaches us patience, self-compassion, and forgiveness while helping us build resilience and healthy boundaries. Healing doesn't erase the past but empowers us to reclaim our lives and move forward with renewed spirit and peace. Without healing, pain lingers, but through it, freedom and renewal become possible. Forgiveness is a powerful and essential key to leaving pain behind. It is often misunderstood as something we do for others, but in reality, forgiveness is primarily a gift we give ourselves. When we carry hurt, resentment, or anger from past experiences, these emotions act as heavy chains that keep us bound to the pain. Forgiveness is the process of breaking those chains, of releasing the emotional weight so that we can move forward with peace and freedom. At its core, forgiveness is not about forgetting or excusing harmful behavior. It doesn't mean condoning what was done or pretending that the pain didn't happen. Instead, forgiveness is an intentional choice to let go of the negative emotions that trap us in suffering. It is a conscious decision to free ourselves from the grip of bitterness and to reclaim control over our emotional well-being. Holding on anger or resentment may feel justified, especially when we have been deeply hurt or wronged. However, these feelings often do more harm ourselves than to anyone else. Resentment can breed ongoing stress, anxiety, and even physical health problems. Forgiveness, by contrast, it brings emotional relief and healing. It creates space for hope, compassion, and understanding to grow within us. Forgiveness is also a process, not an instantaneous event. It often requires time, patience, and inner work. Sometimes we may feel ready to forgive only to realize later that old wounds resurface. This is natural. Healing takes time, and forgiveness can be revisited as many times as needed until the pain truly diminishes. The important part is the willingness to keep moving toward forgiveness, even when it feels difficult. An essential aspect of forgiveness is self-forgiveness. Often we are hardest on ourselves for mistakes, regrets, or perceived failures. Without forgiving ourselves, it becomes nearly impossible to fully release the pain we carry. Self-forgiveness is about embracing our humanity, recognizing that imperfection is part of life, and allowing ourselves grace and compassion. By forgiving ourselves, we open the door to healing and growth. Forgiveness also helps us reclaim our power. When we hold on to grudges, we give power over our emotions to the person or situation that caused us pain. Forgiveness is a way of taking that power back. It is a declaration that our peace and happiness matter more than holding on to past hurt. Through forgiveness, we become active participants in our healing rather than passive victims of pain. Spiritually, forgiveness is often seen as a path to deeper peace and enlightenment. Many traditions teach that forgiving others is a way to align with love and compassion, transcending the ego's desire for revenge or justice. This spiritual perspective highlights how forgiveness connects us to something greater than ourselves, fostering inner peace and emotional freedom. Moreover, forgiveness does not require reconciliation. We can forgive someone without needing to resume a relationship with them. Sometimes, the healthiest choice is to forgive and release, but maintain distance to protect our well-being. Forgiveness is about healing the heart, not necessarily restoring a connection. In practical terms, forgiveness can be cultivated through reflection, meditation, or counseling. Writing letters, even if unsent, speaking affirmations of release, or engaging in mindfulness practices can all support the process. These actions help us process emotions and gradually let go of pain. Ultimately, forgiveness is transformative. It dissolves the barriers that pain builds around us and opens the way for new experiences of joy, trust, and connection. It frees us from the past so we can live fully in the present. When we embrace forgiveness, we step into a space where healing flourishes and the burden of pain is finally lifted. In conclusion, forgiveness is a vital key to leaving pain behind because it releases us from the emotional captivity of resentment and anger. It allows us to reclaim power, cultivate compassion, and foster inner peace. Forgiveness is a journey that requires courage and patience but offers profound healing and freedom. By choosing to forgive, we open the door to a lighter, more peaceful life, where pain no longer controls us but becomes part of a greater story of growth and resilience. Letting go is one of the most profound and transformative steps toward leaving pain behind. It is a conscious choice to release what no longer serves us, whether that be people, situations, emotions, or memories that keep us tethered to suffering. Letting go is not about forgetting or denying the pain we have experienced. Rather, it is about freeing ourselves from the grip that pain holds on our hearts and minds, allowing healing and peace to take root. At its essence, letting go is about surrender, acknowledging that we cannot control everything and that clinging to past hurts only prolongs our suffering. When we hold on tightly to pain, we create invisible chains that keep us trapped in a cycle of emotional turmoil. These chains weigh heavily on our spirit, often manifesting as bitterness, anger, resentment, or sadness. Letting go breaks these chains and opens the door to freedom. One of the most challenging aspects of letting go is confronting the fear of loss or the unknown. We may fear that by releasing our pain, we are somehow losing a part of ourselves or betraying memories of the past. However, true healing comes from understanding that holding on to pain is not honoring the past, but imprisoning our present and future. By choosing to let go, we honor ourselves by creating space for growth, joy, and new beginnings. Letting go also involves forgiveness, both of others and ourselves. Forgiveness does not mean excusing wrongdoing, but rather releasing the emotional hold it has on us. When we forgive, we loosen the grip of pain and reclaim our power. Similarly, self-forgiveness is crucial because we often carry guilt or regret that fuels our suffering. Letting go of these self-imposed burdens lightens our emotional load and allows us to move forward with compassion for ourselves. The process of letting go is rarely instantaneous. It requires patience, self-awareness, and sometimes guidance. It may involve grieving what was lost and facing uncomfortable emotions head-on rather than burying them. Practices such as journaling, meditation, therapy, or talking with trusted friends can help us process these feelings and gently release their hold on us. Each small step toward letting go is a step closer to peace. Spiritually, letting go is often seen as a vital part of personal evolution. It aligns us with the natural flow of life, reminding us that change is inevitable and resistance only causes suffering. When we surrender our attachments and expectations, we open ourselves to new possibilities and deeper understanding. Letting go invites grace, healing, and transformation. Importantly, letting go does not mean we erase the lessons or significance of our experiences. Instead, it means we carry those lessons lightly, without the weight of pain. We honor our past by using it as a foundation for resilience and wisdom rather than a source of continued hurt. This shift in perspective empowers us to live more fully in the present moment. In relationships, letting go can mean releasing toxic connections or unrealistic expectations that harm our well-being. It can also mean accepting that some people are not meant to stay in our lives forever. This acceptance can bring peace and clarity, replacing confusion and heartache with calm and understanding. Ultimately, letting go is an act of self-love. It is choosing our own peace over the comfort of familiar pain. It is trusting that by releasing what no longer serves us, we make room for healing, joy, and fulfillment. Letting go allows us to reclaim our power, rebuild our lives, and move forward with a lighter heart. In conclusion, letting go is the key to leaving pain behind because it breaks the chains of suffering that bind us to the past. It requires courage to face our fears and release control, but it offers profound freedom and healing. Through letting go, we open ourselves to forgiveness, growth, and transformation, creating a life where pain no longer defines us but becomes a stepping stone to greater peace and happiness. Choosing to let go is choosing to live fully, freely, and with hope for what lies ahead. Emotional release is a fundamental and transformative process that plays a crucial role in leaving pain behind. When we experience emotional pain, whether from loss, betrayal, disappointment, or trauma, our feelings often get trapped inside us, creating tension, stress, and even physical discomfort. Emotional release is the conscious act of allowing these feelings to surface, be acknowledged, and ultimately be let go. It is through this process that healing can truly begin. And the key to leaving pain behind is found in the freedom that comes from expressing and releasing these pent-up emotions. The human mind and body are deeply interconnected. When painful experiences are suppressed or ignored, emotions do not simply disappear. They linger beneath the surface, causing inner turmoil. This buildup can manifest as anxiety, depression, irritability, or feelings of numbness. By allowing ourselves to fully feel and release these emotions, we give our mind and body the chance to restore balance. Emotional release acts like a pressure valve, reducing the overwhelming weight of unresolved feelings and preventing them from controlling our lives. Many people fear emotional release because it requires vulnerability and confronting uncomfortable truths. However, bottling up emotions only prolongs suffering. The first step toward emotional release is recognizing that all emotions, even painful ones, serve a purpose. They are signals that our inner world needs attention and care. Instead of judging ourselves for feeling sadness, anger, or fear, we can welcome these emotions as necessary messengers guiding us toward healing. One of the most effective ways to facilitate emotional release is through expression. This can take many forms: crying, journaling, talking to a trusted friend or therapist, or engaging in creative outlets like art or music. Each method allows emotions to flow freely rather than being trapped inside. For instance, crying is a natural and powerful way to release grief and sadness. It activates the body's parasympathetic nervous system, helping to calm us and reduce stress. Similarly, writing down our thoughts and feelings helps process what we are going through, making the pain less overwhelming and easier to manage. Physical activities like exercise or yoga can also aid emotional release by moving stagnant energy through the body. Sometimes emotions get stuck in certain areas, like tension in the chest or tightness in the stomach, and physical movement helps unlock these blockages. Breathwork and meditation are additional tools that promote emotional clarity and calm, allowing us to face our feelings with greater ease and less fear. Importantly, emotional release is not about dwelling endlessly on pain or becoming consumed by negative emotions. It is about allowing feelings to come up, honoring them without resistance, and then letting them go. This cycle helps prevent emotional overwhelm and supports long-term emotional health. When we practice emotional release regularly, we cultivate resilience and develop healthier ways of coping with life's challenges. Spiritually, emotional release can be seen as a cleansing ritual, a way to purify the heart and soul from the residue of past hurts. Letting go of emotional baggage frees us to live more fully in the present moment and opens us up to joy, love, and connection. It is a vital step toward self-acceptance and inner peace. Moreover, emotional release fosters compassion, not only for ourselves but also for others. When we acknowledge our own pain and release it, we become more empathetic and understanding toward the struggles of those around us. This deepens our relationships and enriches our social support networks, which are essential for healing and growth. In summary, emotional release is the key to leaving pain behind because it breaks the cycle of suppression and stagnation. By consciously allowing ourselves to feel, express, and let go of difficult emotions, we clear the way for healing and renewal. Emotional release nurtures our mental, physical, and spiritual well-being, empowering us to move forward with greater clarity, strength, and peace. But choosing to embrace emotional release is choosing to reclaim our lives from pain and step into a future filled with hope and possibility. Self-awareness is a powerful and essential key to leaving pain behind. When dealing with emotional pain, whether caused by loss, betrayal, or personal failure, one of the most important steps toward healing is to cultivate a deep understanding of ourselves. Self-awareness allows us to recognize, understand, and manage our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, enabling us to confront pain honestly and effectively rather than being overwhelmed or controlled by it. Without self-awareness, pain can remain hidden beneath the surface, shaping our reactions and decisions in ways that keep us stuck and prevent true healing. At its core, self-awareness is about turning inward with curiosity and compassion. It means paying attention to our feelings as they arise and asking ourselves meaningful questions. Why do I feel this way? What triggered this pain? How does it affect my thoughts and actions? When we answer these questions honestly, we start to peel back the layers of our experience. This process shines a light on the root causes of our suffering rather than just the symptoms. Instead of being blind to our pain, we begin to understand it, which is the first step in letting it go. Developing self-awareness requires mindful observation. It involves becoming an impartial witness to our emotional landscape, noticing patterns and reactions without judgment. For example, when we are hurt, we might habitually withdraw or lash out, but self-awareness helps us recognize these patterns as automatic responses. With this recognition, we gain the power to choose a different path, one that leads to healing rather than further harm. This ability to step back and observe ourselves from a place of calm insight is what transforms pain from something that controls us into a signal that guides us toward growth. The self-awareness also includes acknowledging the uncomfortable emotions that often accompany pain. Sadness, anger, fear, or guilt, rather than pushing them aside or denying their existence. When we resist or suppress our feelings, they tend to fester and cause more distress. But by being self-aware, we learn to welcome these emotions as valuable messengers, providing information about what needs our attention and care. This acceptance creates a safe internal space where healing can begin. Another vital aspect of self-awareness in leaving pain behind is recognizing the stories and beliefs we hold about ourselves and our experiences. Often, pain is amplified by negative self-talk or limiting beliefs such as, "I am not worthy," or "this pain defines me." By becoming aware of these internal narratives, we can challenge and reframe them. Instead of identifying solely with our pain, self-awareness empowers us to see ourselves as complex, capable of resilience and transformation. In practical terms, cultivating self-awareness can be done through various practices like journaling, meditation, or therapy. Journaling offers a private space to explore our thoughts and feelings in depth, helping us uncover insights that might otherwise remain hidden. Meditation encourages a calm and focused mind, making it easier to notice emotional reactions without getting swept away by them. Therapy provides guidance and support in navigating difficult emotions and gaining clarity about ourselves. Importantly, self-awareness is not about perfection or having all the answers immediately. It is a lifelong journey of learning and growing. As we become more self-aware, we develop greater emotional intelligence, allowing us to respond to life's challenges with wisdom and grace. This emotional maturity is crucial for leaving pain behind and moving forward with a sense of peace. Spiritually, self-awareness connects us to a deeper part of ourselves, our inner wisdom or higher self. It encourages us to look beyond the temporary pain and recognize our inherent value and capacity for healing. This awareness fosters forgiveness, both for ourselves and others, which is often necessary to release the hold that pain has on us. Ultimately, self-awareness is the key that unlocks the door to freedom from pain. It transforms suffering from a source of helplessness into an opportunity for insight and renewal. When we embrace self-awareness, we empower ourselves to heal, grow, and create a life that is not defined by past pain but enriched by the strength and wisdom gained from it. Choosing to cultivate self-awareness is choosing to step into a brighter, more peaceful future, one where pain no longer controls us, but instead serves as a catalyst for deeper understanding and lasting healing. Acceptance is a crucial and transformative key to leaving pain behind. When we experience emotional or physical pain, whether from loss, disappointment, betrayal, or trauma, the natural human response is often resistance. We fight against the pain, deny it, or wish it away. However, this resistance can intensify suffering, keeping us trapped in a cycle of hurt and distress. Acceptance, on the other hand, opens the door to healing by allowing us to face pain honestly and with openness, creating space for growth and peace. At its essence, acceptance means acknowledging reality as it is without judgment or denial. It is not about liking or approving the painful situation, and nor is it about giving up or resigning ourselves to suffering. Instead, acceptance is about recognizing the truth of our experience in the present moment, no matter how difficult it may be. This honest recognition breaks down the inner barriers that resistance builds and invites us to engage with pain in a way that leads to resolution rather than escalation. One of the reasons acceptance is so powerful is because pain loses its grip when we stop fighting it. When we resist pain, it often feels overwhelming and all-consuming because we are pouring energy into avoiding or denying it. Acceptance shifts our focus from battling the pain to understanding and integrating it. This shift reduces the intensity of suffering by transforming pain from a threatening enemy into a part of our experience that we can observe and learn from. In this way, acceptance becomes a form of emotional courage. It takes strength to look directly at what hurts and say, "This is happening, and I can be with it." Acceptance also fosters compassion toward ourselves. Pain often brings up harsh self-judgment, feelings of weakness or shame. We might blame ourselves for what happened or criticize how we are coping. Through acceptance, we practice gentleness with our own suffering. We acknowledge that it is okay to feel hurt, that pain is part of being human, and that healing is a process requiring time and patience. This self-compassion nurtures resilience and prevents the added wound of self-criticism, which can prolong emotional distress. Additionally, acceptance has let go of the need to control outcomes. Much pain arises from our desire to change the past, fix others, or predict and manage the future. When these efforts fail, frustration and helplessness grow. Acceptance teaches us to release the illusion of control and surrender to what is beyond our power to change. This surrender is not about passivity, but about choosing to respond with wisdom rather than resistance. It allows us to focus our energy on what we can influence, our thoughts and actions, rather than being trapped by what we cannot. From a practical perspective, cultivating acceptance can involve mindfulness practices. Mindfulness invites us to observe our thoughts and feelings without trying to change or judge them, helping us become aware of pain without being overwhelmed. This practice trains the mind to stay present and grounded even during difficult emotions. Over time, mindfulness strengthens our capacity for acceptance and makes it easier to navigate pain with equanimity. Spiritually, acceptance is often described as a surrender to life's flow. It is a deep trust that, even in suffering, there is a larger wisdom at work, and that pain can be a teacher. This perspective encourages us to see beyond immediate hardship and recognize the possibility of transformation and growth. Acceptance opens the heart to healing energies, whether through forgiveness, connection with others, or inner peace. In relationships, acceptance helps us release resentment and bitterness that pain can generate. When we accept what has happened, we free ourselves from the burden of carrying grudges or endless what-ifs. This liberation creates space for renewal, whether that means repairing relationships or moving forward with grace. Ultimately, acceptance is the key to leaving pain behind because it changes our relationship with suffering. Instead of running from pain or being consumed by it, acceptance invites us to meet it with openness and courage. Through acceptance, we find freedom, not from pain itself, but from the suffering caused by resistance. It allows us to move through pain with dignity, learn valuable lessons, and emerge stronger and more whole. The choosing acceptance is choosing peace in the midst of life's challenges, a choice that leads to true healing and lasting liberation from the hold of pain. Inner peace is a profound and essential key to leaving pain behind. When we experience pain, whether emotional, mental, or physical, it often disrupts our sense of calm and balance. The turmoil caused by pain can leave us feeling restless, anxious, and overwhelmed. Inner peace, however, offers a sanctuary within ourselves where we can find refuge from suffering. It is not the absence of pain, but the presence of a calm, steady center that remains unshaken despite life's challenges. Cultivating inner peace is a transformative process that enables us to heal and move beyond pain. At the heart of inner peace lies acceptance. Accepting our pain does not mean we are passively surrendering to suffering. Rather, it means embracing our experience fully without resistance or denial. When we resist pain, it intensifies and festers inside us, creating inner conflict. But when we allow ourselves to acknowledge pain, we create space to understand it and begin the healing process. This acceptance creates a foundation for inner peace by dissolving the inner struggle that pain often generates. Inner peace also grows through mindfulness and presence. The pain often drags our minds into the past, replaying hurtful events, or into the future, worrying about what might come next. This mental restlessness amplifies suffering. Mindfulness teaches us to anchor ourselves in the present moment, observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment. Through this practice, we learn that pain is just one part of our experience. It comes and goes like waves in the ocean. When we connect with the present moment, we find a stillness beneath the surface turmoil, a calm space where peace resides. Another vital aspect of inner peace is self-compassion. Pain can evoke harsh self-criticism and feelings of unworthiness. We might blame ourselves for the situation or feel weak for struggling. Cultivating self-compassion means treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, just as we would a dear friend. This gentle acceptance of our imperfections softens the harshness of pain and helps us nurture healing from within. When we are compassionate toward ourselves, we create a nurturing inner environment where peace can flourish. Inner peace also involves forgiveness, both toward others and ourselves. Holding on to anger, resentment, or regret keeps us tied to pain. Forgiveness is not about excusing harmful actions or forgetting what happened. It is about releasing the heavy burden of bitterness. When we forgive, we free our hearts and minds from the chains of past hurts, allowing peace to take root. Forgiveness liberates us from the emotional turmoil that blocks healing and growth. Spiritually, inner peace is often described as a connection to something greater than ourselves, whether it be a higher power, universal energy, or the inherent wisdom within. This spiritual connection brings a sense of trust and surrender, reminding us that despite life's hardships, there is a larger flow guiding us. This perspective fosters hope and resilience, empowering us to face pain with courage and grace. In practical terms, cultivating inner peace requires intentional daily practices. Meditation, deep breathing, spending time in nature, journaling, and engaging in activities that bring joy and relaxation are all ways to nurture this peaceful state. Setting healthy boundaries and simplifying our lives also protect our inner calm from external stressors. By prioritizing inner peace, we equip ourselves to handle pain without being overwhelmed. Ultimately, inner peace is the key to leaving pain behind because it transforms our relationship with suffering. It does not eliminate pain, but it changes how we experience and respond to it. With inner peace, Pain becomes a teacher rather than a tormentor. It allows us to move through difficult emotions with dignity and strength, finding meaning and growth even in hardship. Choosing inner peace is a powerful act of self-care and courage. It invites us to settle into a deep well of calm that no external circumstance can disturb. This calm center supports our healing and empowers us to live fully, despite the inevitable pains of life. By cultivating inner peace, we unlock the door to true freedom. Freedom from the endless cycle of pain and suffering, and the ability to embrace life with an open and resilient heart. Moving forward is an essential part of the journey toward leaving pain behind. When we experience emotional or physical pain, it can feel overwhelming, trapping us in a cycle of hurt and sorrow. Yet, the true key to healing lies in our ability to move forward, to take deliberate steps away from pain and toward a renewed sense of life and hope. Moving forward is not about forgetting or dismissing what happened. It is about acknowledging our pain, learning from it, and choosing growth over stagnation. The process of moving forward begins with acceptance. Accepting that pain is part of our human experience allows us to stop resisting it, which only prolongs suffering. This acceptance means recognizing our feelings without judgment, whether it's sadness, anger, disappointment, or grief. By allowing ourselves to fully feel these emotions, we give them room to be processed rather than suppressed. Once we accept our pain, we create the necessary space to move beyond it. Moving forward also requires courage. It takes bravery to step out of the familiar space of suffering and uncertainty into the unknown realm of healing and change. Pain often makes us cling to what is familiar, even if it is harmful, because fear of the unknown can be daunting. But courage encourages us to face our fears, take risks, and embrace the possibility of a better future. Each step forward, no matter how small, builds momentum that fuels our recovery and growth. One of the most important aspects of moving forward is setting intentions and goals. When we are in pain, our vision can become clouded by despair and hopelessness. Setting clear intentions helps redirect our focus toward positive outcomes and possibilities. These goals don't have to be monumental. They can be as simple as practicing daily self-care, reconnecting with loved ones, or pursuing a hobby that brings joy. Intentions provide direction and purpose, reminding us that life still holds opportunities for happiness and fulfillment. Moving forward also involves learning from our experiences. Pain often carries important lessons about ourselves, our relationships, and our boundaries. Reflecting on these lessons empowers us to make wiser choices and avoid repeating patterns that cause harm. This growth mindset transforms pain from a crippling force into a catalyst for personal development. When we view pain as a teacher, moving forward becomes a journey of continual learning and self-improvement. Forgiveness plays a crucial role in moving forward as well. Holding on to resentment or anger toward ourselves or others can keep us stuck in pain. Forgiveness does not mean excusing hurtful actions, but rather releasing the emotional hold they have on us. By forgiving, we lighten our emotional burden and open the door to peace and freedom. This act of letting go allows us to move forward unencumbered by past grievances. Support from others also facilitates moving forward. Healing in isolation can be incredibly challenging. Connecting with friends, family, or professional counselors provides emotional safety, encouragement, and perspective. Sharing our pain with trusted individuals reminds us that we are not alone and strengthens our resolve to heal. A community and connection are vital components of moving beyond pain and rebuilding our lives. Another important factor is self-compassion. Pain often triggers self-blame and harsh criticism, which hinder progress. Practicing kindness toward ourselves nurtures our emotional wounds and fosters resilience. When we treat ourselves with compassion, we create a nurturing environment conducive to healing and growth. Moving forward also means taking practical actions to care for our well-being. This can include establishing healthy routines, engaging in physical exercise, practicing mindfulness, and prioritizing rest. These habits strengthen our bodies and minds, equipping us to face challenges with greater ease. Ultimately, moving forward is about reclaiming our power and choosing life despite pain. It is a conscious decision to rise above suffering and pursue a path of healing, growth, and joy. Moving forward transforms pain from a permanent state into a chapter that, while difficult, leads to greater strength and wisdom. By embracing acceptance, courage, intention, forgiveness, support, self-compassion, and healthy habits, we hold the key to leaving pain behind. Moving forward is not always easy, but it is the most vital step in freeing ourselves from the grip of pain and stepping into a future filled with hope and possibility. When we move forward, we honor our resilience and affirm our capacity to heal and thrive.